There's been a lot of questions about the E-M1 Mark III and the 12 to 45mm f4 lens that Olympus announced this month. And I don't blame you guys. It's always when there is new stuff coming out, there are a lot of questions. Why and what, and can it do this, and why not? Why that thing is not there and why this is there. On this video I will answer some of those questions and highlight some of the best ones that you might have missed if you haven't gone back to the comment section of my videos. Hi there, I'm Peter Forsgard, an Olympus visionary and a professional photographer from Helsinki, Finland. And questions are always welcome. I try to answer every question that I get. Sometimes I might miss some of them and I'm really sorry about that, but if you are consistent and try to reach me, and if you send me an email and I missed it, then just send me a new one. It's important that you will get the answers you want, because that's what my channel is all about, helping you to become a better photographer and about Olympus gear. And there is also a new way now that you can reach me or be in contact with me. I opened up the channel membership. You can join my channel for $5.99, and what it means is that I will have a monthly live stream for members only. And now there aren't too many members yet, so you will have a very special exclusive time with me on those live shows, and most likely will get your comments answered. If not on the live stream, I will find out for you. So now it's a really good time to join. Then there is also a $1.99 option, which will be more like a support, and I will every month on these comments answered videos, I will shout out your name and thank you personally for supporting my channel. This does not mean that any of the free content will go away. That's not gonna change at all, but it's a small support for my channel, because making 2 videos a week takes a lot of time, and that's of course away from my real work that gets the bills paid. So that membership will be appreciated very, very much. But no pressure, as I said. The free content will be there twice a week, as it has been so far. But let's get into the questions. Maybe the biggest question and things that have been bothering your minds is the why Olympus made the 12 to 45mm f4 lens. Well, I picked Mike D and Best Picks Photography, who had the same question that many of you had. And someone even wanted a 12 to 40mm 2.8 lens Mark II version with a stabilizer, and I agree, that would be a great lens. But let me explain why Olympus made the f4 lens, even though they already have, let's say, the kit lens, the 14 to 42mm, and they have the 12 to 40mm, and then there is the 12 to 100mm. So there's a lot of lenses out there that are almost the same focal length. The reason is that Olympus wants us to break free from heavy gear. That's exactly the reason why I switched to Olympus in 2014 I was, or 16, 14. I don't know, well, 14 I think it was. Anyways, and for, let's say that you are a adventurous landscape photographer, the 12 to 45mm f4 could be a perfect lens for you. It's light and small, and when you do in landscape, you will stop down anyways. So fast lenses in landscape photography is not that much needed. They are big and bulky and a lot heavier. So, and if you're stopping down anyways, why not have a smaller lens with not so fast aperture? And the image quality is still the same. There is no difference in the image quality wise. So why not have a smaller lens for those occasions? But of course, if you need a stop faster lens, you still have the 12 to 40mm f2.8 lens. And of course, then if you even need faster lenses, you have the Pro lineup lenses of f1.2. So there are a lot of options for any of you. The only thing that I have been a bit puzzled is that why the 12 to 45mm f4 is more expensive in some parts of the world than the 12 to 40mm f2.8. Especially comments from Australia has pointed that out, and maybe it was because the 12 to 40mm f2.8 was on a sale. They had a price reduction on that for a little while. But I don't know, but at least let me know how the prices are going down under, or any other place where there are some odd prices on these lenses. And then if we talk about f4 lineup, I remember when I was using Canon gear way back, I also had f4 lenses for that. And Canon has a f4 lens lineup, and I think Sony has also f4 lenses. And that's because they are a bit smaller, and in Olympus, in Canon and Sony case, also a bit less expensive. And that's the reason why I had a few f4 lenses, because I used them so that I stopped down anyways. So why buy the big and bulky 2.8 lens when you can have a smaller f4 lens if you stop down anyways? And so in that sense, I wouldn't be surprised that if Olympus introduced some more f4 lenses in its lineup. This is not something that I know, but this is something that I would not be surprised if they did, because break free from heavy gear is their motto now, and that would be quite convenient. But actually the lenses that I really would like to have is the the f1.8 Holy Trinity lenses, the 17mm 25 and the 45mm as f1.8, and a weatherproof version of those lenses. It could be f1.4, why not? But f1.8 would be totally enough. That would be a smaller lens, and that would be something that I would be very interested in, because I don't want to carry heavy gear around, to be honest. That I really like my small gear that I have right now. And yeah, there was actually one thing also that was mentioned by Jose Alberto Martin Ortega, and that was about the weather sealing of the 12 to 45mm f4 lens. Remember that if you have E-M10 series cameras, serious cameras, that is not a weather sealed body. So having a 12 to 45mm f4 on those bodies might not be a good thing, because the whole system is not weather sealed. Of course, you will get a bit better image quality and a bit brighter lens in the longer end of your focal length, because if you have the kit lens, for example, it's 5.6 when it's 42mm. And you will also gain a bit more or bit better image quality, as you if you have not seen my video about the the kit lens and the 12 to 45mm f4. You can watch it here, or is it there? I don't know. I always get mixed up. I think it's there. But anyways, let's continue. And then there was a question about the IBIS. The new E-M1 Mark III has 7.5 stops when you're using the 12 to 100mm or the 300mm f4 lenses. It used to be 6.5, so it is one stop more. So in theory, this would mean that a 2-second exposure can be 4 seconds with the new camera. And Cis Delev, I think it was commenting about how much that one stop actually is, or is there that big of a difference. And I think Robin Wong also addressed this issue in his video about the new camera. And I agree, in theory, if you make a 2-second exposure with the E-M1 Mark II, it should be 4 seconds with the E-M1 Mark III. But in practice, you might not get that. But remember, it doesn't mean that the IBIS is as effective as it used to be. It will be a lot easier because you have more tolerance. You still have one stop tolerance in the upper part, or I don't know how to explain, but there is some more tolerance if you don't use the whole potential of the stabilizer or stabilizer as stabilizer. That was corrected me in one video. I always say stabilizer. It's a stabilizer. Thanks for that. But I hope you understand what I mean by not using the whole potential of the IBIS. And yeah, then one thing about in video, the one stop is huge improvement. It is so much easier to get nice and smooth, steady video handheld with the new camera than it used to be. And the older model was perfect, but this is more than perfect. It's a remarkable. Then Kristin Elström pointed out a very good point about the live ND. She said that now she could use the 7 to 14mm f2.8 lens for long exposures or without using ND filters, because that lens is quite big and the filter holder is even bigger, and the ND filters are huge, and those ND filters are also quite expensive. Now, with the built-in live ND filter, you can use that lens for long exposures without any ND filters, or need to be attached in the front of the lens. Or wind might cause some vibration to the lens if you have a big ND filters in front of it. You know, wind will catch that easily. But without the ND filters, it's easier to hold your camera steady. The wind is not affecting that much. That was a very good point. Thanks, Kristen, for pointing that out. And then there was some comments about my battle between the E-M1 series cameras. And Ada 1960 commented that on the points that I gave based on the fact that OI Share app can be used when upgrading the firmware for E-M1 Mark III. And I thought that is better than the GPS that E-M1X has. And Ada 1960 pointed out really, and had a point actually, is that the GPS is more used than the firmware upgrade. So in that, he thought that the GPS is that, or the reason why it's better is because it's used every day, but the firmware upgrade is once a year, once or twice a year or whatever. And he has a point, but I still stay behind my point that for me, the GPS inside the camera is not the one that I need. I use my phone, which I always carry around, and I think it's a bit better. And also the GPS eats some batteries when on, so saving some battery time, I think it's better to use it in my phone where it does not eat that much use. It's on anyways. So that's why I gave the points, because of the, or that's why I prefer the firmware upgrade via OI Share. But as I said, Ada 1960 had a point. Some of you were really disappointed that E-M1 Mark II got only 1 point in my battle. And I agree, it wasn't not much, but it doesn't mean that it's a bad camera. Of course, the new cameras are a bit better and they have some better features. I am still using the E-M1 Mark II, right? I'm filming this video with it, and I still will be using it, and most likely I will get the E-M1 Mark III before summer, because there are some of the features that I really like, and the best thing that it has, I think, is the joystick, and that's why I will eventually get one. But I'm still continue using the E-M1 Mark II because I'm used to using it and it's a great camera. I can get the job done with that. I don't think that my photography will be better if I get a new camera. There are lots of other things that matter the most, and that's me, not the camera. So, but there are some features that might help me to be a bit better. And then there is my favorite comment of the month. Elias subscribed to my channel because of my accent. And I really appreciate that, because I know I'm struggling a lot with my English. And I don't mind if you correct me saying something funny or something wrong. I think it's a good thing if you do it nicely, of course. If you start laughing or mocking me about it, then it's not nice, because, well, mocking someone is not nice. And the thing is that I always try, of course, to be better. Pronunciation, trying to use the right words, but it's hard. But I'm learning, and because life is all about learning. It's like learning photography. You're never perfect, and I really appreciate those comments that are nice and will comment on my pronunciation or my accent. Well, that's what it is, but I will try to be better so that I can help you to be a better photographer also by being better in English and having a better content in that regard. So thanks for always those. And remember, I'm always trying to help you. So keep those questions and comments coming. They're really appreciated. I read and try to read every one of them and comment on every one of them if there is a question in the comment. But hey, thanks for watching, and bye for now.